Hey, Beth, thank you for joining us for this third episode. I know you've got a wealth of information to share, and there's a lot of people out there looking forward to hearing some of your expertise. So before we get started, the name of the episode is What's Hot and What's Not. So we're going to talk about particular items that sell well, perhaps don't sell as well. But before we get started on that, Mary Beth, tell us a little bit about you and your business. You're Carrying Transitions
Chicago
North.
Northwest Suburbs. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm the owner of that franchise, and we work in the Chicago metro area, and we've been in business for 5 years. I previously was a project director and have a long background in marketing and advertising and promotions. So I basically switched careers late in my career to this, and I am a auctioneer as well. So yeah, we help clients in this area and we love it, really.
So tell us a little bit about the Chicago market. And I mean, have in 5 years, I have to believe, because I've seen it in only 3 years, things are changing. The landscape's changing.
Yes.
What are you experiencing?
So it's changed in the last 5 years from there's a gold mine in my house to this isn't worth anything anymore, which is not actually true, either one. But there's a lot of people moving out of Illinois because of the taxes. So the volume of items that are on the market, the resale items that are on the market, has gone up exponentially. So it's a great buying market, great to buy our auctions because there's a lot of items that are available. But the market's changed. So that's because the baby boom has basically started to downsize in addition to their parents moving into senior living. And so there's so many very amazing things on the market. It's a really good time for buyers.
And how has that affected your business?
It gives us a lot of opportunity, and my customers are really looking for really great collectibles and for precious metals, things like that, vintage items mostly, and it has changed the way things happen because at the same time we've got this digital opportunity. So we have online auctions, and that's all we do, mostly because that's what people are looking for, especially during the pandemic.
So tell us a little more about that, the online auctions.
So I'm going to give you kind of the what's hot, what's not kind of online
Okay.
auction spiel. I think that will help everybody out there. There are a lot of things in people's homes that don't have the kind of value they used to have, especially furniture, now that, of course, Goodwill won't take furniture anymore, but there's a glut of it on the market. So many people will call us to clear their house of furniture, but actually the value may be elsewhere. And that in the areas that I look for are precious metals, things that are uncommon in vintage. They're branded items, especially high-end branded items, of course, designer pieces, and collectibles. Collectibles are very interesting because what you think might be junk can frequently be a collectible item to someone else. The things that aren't hot are usually things that are worn and things that you wouldn't use anymore. So many people, when they're moving, they really are trying to discard a lot of things, and they'd rather not pay for junk or to throw it into a landfill. So they like to ask us to try to sell it. Well, what happens is that the worn items don't sell as well, and sometimes it's not even worth it to try. So what we like to do when we tour a house is to make a decision about the house and whether there's enough in the house to pay for a professional to try to sell those items. A lot of times there's about 20 or 30% of what's in a normal house that's going to generate income for the family. And then sometimes there's a lot that won't. And so we try to right size our efforts to match what the client needs. And our first and foremost, most important part of our business really is our clients and protecting them, which is why I love online auctions, because the customers don't walk through the house. There's no estate sale. We can compete nationally. We ship. It's a much better and more efficient way to sell collectibles, of course, because I've got a national audience and I can promote to find the people, if they aren't already on our list, people that want to buy that stuff. So
How long does a typical auction run for you?
we usually run them for 2 weeks, mostly because after they go live, before they close. They close at one time, usually consistently Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. We run them for 2 weeks because we like to give the customer base, the national customer base, a chance to see items and start to compete with each other. We do that for our clients, but we also do that because there are collectors out there, and it takes a week or so sometimes for those collectors to find these items, and we want to find as many as possible to drive the prices up for our clients. And that's why we go 2 weeks. Not everyone does that, but that's what we do.
And so how does the process, when you decide to do an auction for a client, I'm a client of yours, how does it start? How does it work?
We do a free on-site consultation or a video consultation, whichever works for both of us, with our clients in their home. And we go on site and we photograph items after we agree with the client on the proposal and what we're going to do. Then we go on site and we photograph, and then we go off site and do research. And we basically, because of the type of work we do, many times we'll do collections that need some research. Like today, we're working on a collection of antique pharmaceutical glass blown bottles with glass labels from the 1800s. So it's an extensive collection from a pharmacist's home. And we have to not only do research, but also check to make sure that there's nothing caustic, there's no controlled substances, things like that. We're working on that today. So that
there was an episode, I just watched it last night. I don't know when I recorded it, but on an Antique Roadshow with the same thing. And one of the guys, you said nothing narcotic. One of the guys was an ancient, I don't remember the year, it was from 1900s, all these bottles of medicinal herbs. And two of them, they were all still full of the herbs, except for two of them. One of them, which the guy on Antiques Roadshow said contained cannabis, which his brother got to.
So that's exactly it. We have a pharmacist right now that's looking at our photos to make sure that we pull the bottles, the lots that we've already shot, the lots that have things that might be caustic or dangerous or controlled, and that's the kind of hidden work that all auctioneers do. But the more experience you have and the more clients come to you for unique things like that, the more difficult it becomes, and more interesting. Like we've sold an organ, a pipe organ that someone had, a professional organist had installed in their home. It was a huge pipe organ that would go in a church, but because they were both church organists and professionals, they not only had a Steinway piano in their house that was an antique, but they also had built a second floor addition to their home just to sell this pipe organ, which literally needed to be disassembled and shipped to California by the customer. So, and they had built one in their basement as well. So we sold that for parts. So there's all kinds of crazy, interesting things that we run across, and that really makes for fun for our customers, but also for us. That's what we dig. So
I bet. Let me ask, what is the craziest thing, or what is it like an experience that you've had that like really sticks out? That
well, the pipe organ was particularly crazy. Yeah, there's on my wall, I made an award for the marketing people who sold it. So hold on. On my wall, I literally took the part. Oops, can you even see that? There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
These are the pipes. They are like wooden antique pipes. Oh, right. You can see it better. Yeah, wooden antique pipes. They're actually flutes, and they came from that pipe organ. So I made this into an award for the marketing person because we sold this pipe organ to basically someone from California. And for that to actually even happen, because I sold it for $2,500, which is really unheard of as well. So we have unique things all the time. So it's so hard to remember exactly which ones are most unique, except for the ones that are most difficult to sell. The piano itself needed to have professionals assess it on video and play it. And it sold for about $8,000 to someone in the city who had it moved, and it was in excellent condition. I literally had to run the humidifier on that house, to go there and refill the water just to take care of that piano so that we could sell it.
Really? And how long does it take you typically to put an auction together from when you first meet with the client to
we shoot, we discover the house first, which means we go and find all the things that we need to sell. We put those together in a lot, we shoot, we write the text, and we go live. We do that in 4 days.
4 days. Oh, that's great.
Yep. And then the auction stays live for 2 weeks. So within
Right.
2 weeks, we can clear the house.
Clear the house out.
With, you know, of course, we have charities that we work with as well, so that the house can be cleared. And that really helps the realtors. Mhm.
Yeah, because they want the rooms empty, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the important things, I think the most important thing for everybody out there to know too, is when they're looking at trying to decide between an estate sale and an auction, it has a lot to do with what's in the house. And you really need a professional to come and help you assess that. So there are many different ways to solve for those challenges, but the way we look at it is that we serve our customers, so we come up with a custom solution for them, and then we go and do it as quickly as possible to make sure that that client's house, which is their biggest asset, is in their hands and in good condition. And during COVID, we protect our customers too by keeping them away from the public as much as possible.
So what I'm hearing is you don't necessarily have a cookie cutter approach that this is the way we do it. And if you, Mr. Homeowner, you either like it or you don't, you're really customizing for the particular needs or criteria of your customers.
Yeah, some people have some sad situations. Recently, there's a family whose mom passed, and they don't even live in state. So they need someone to kind of act like a rent-a-daughter, to go in there and maybe rent a son, depending upon your family, but go in there and check out what's going on, facilitate the shipping of items to different family members. Sometimes we just need to discover money. Like, we will find cash regularly hidden in places in the house and we have to, of course, the first thing we do is take a photo and send a text to the client so that they know there's cash in the house. And making sure that you're working with a reputable company who will return that cash to you is super important. And that's why one of the reasons that I work and own a Caring Transitions franchise, because that's the kind of operation that we have. But also there are stringent standards that we are required to uphold, including the kinds that I worked with when I was in Fortune 50 company, which was background checks, and making sure that everybody's on staff is ethical, basically. And those things really matter to me. So that's why I have a business like this, and I work with other folks in a huge network of 200 people who run other franchises across the country. Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like it's working for you.
Well, we're having fun, and we have a great team. I can't say enough about how lovely the people are that work with me. They're some of the best people I've worked with in my career. So I feel really lucky.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, in closing out, Mary Beth, what whether as a seller or somebody who's running an estate sale, what's a major piece of advice that you would, give me some advice. I'm going to be running an estate sale next week.
I would say to make sure that you get a professional to look at your situation, to look at your home and the things in it. Don't just sell things to people who walk through your house and kind of pick your house. Everyone's seen that TV show where there's pickers that will come in and buy things from you, and they're always trying to get the least amount of money. Well, you need a professional to give you the opportunity to compete, to get others to spend more on the things in your home. That is really what our goal is. So I think if I gave you any advice, it would be protect your investment, which is your home first and foremost, and then look to a professional, get some advice, make sure their background, you look into their references, and just interview them like you would a contractor coming into your home. And I think that's it, just do that due diligence. You do that, then you'll find out the best way to sell the things in your home.
Mary Beth, this has been great. It's been so nice having you here, and all the best to you, really.
Thank you,
and again, thank you so much. I know you've been as I expected, your wealth of information, and we appreciate the time that you gave us.
No problem. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.